Once you think you've made it small, make it even smaller than that. Do the same with your time commitment. It's great that you blocked out the next 3 hours to do work, but guess what? Studying for 3 hours is incredibly daunting. You do not want to do that. Most start using the internet at the average age of 3, and as recent research shows, children now spend more time playing and socializing online than watching television programs. Given this change in habits, it is not surprising that a recent House of Lords report has raised online safety and behavior as an important issue. As of 2018, we were tracked to generate waste at more than double the rate of population growth through 2050, so we can expect plenty more rubbish to pile up. Some communities are running out of room to store all their trash and have stopped collecting plastic, paper, and glass. This may cause fish populations to become depleted and not able to recover. 67% are fully exploited, meaning additional fishing effort could lead to the fisheries collapse. Only 10% have room to grow, with just 10% of the fisheries having a room to grow. We might experience a global fishing crisis. Most academic historians are trained very much in the discipline of words, and they concentrate on words still today, although it is changing a little bit. If you go through university history, primarily you are encouraged to draw on things like archival accounts. No. Left and right in politics comes from the original designation of the deputies who sat to the left of the speaker's podium and those who sat to the right of the speaker's podium in the National Assembly of 1789 to 1790. The left were those who were seen as progressive wanting to change, the right were seen as those wanting to conserve elements of the old regime. These geometries can include multi-layered sheets, such as skin, branching tubes for vasculature, and the sophistication of this manufacturing technology improves daily to include different cell types and different shapes. And now, why is it important? The pharmaceutical industry at the moment is in a moment of crisis. It spends more money each year on R&D, but has fewer drugs to show for it. The name telescope covers a wide range of instruments. There are major differences in how astronomers must go about collecting light in different frequency bands. The telescope is widely used in the astronomy field because it is a digital detector, 100 times more efficient than our eyes. Now physicists have begun to develop a various quantum mechanism. In favor of a much simpler one, can a computer talk like a human? This question led to an idea for measuring artificial intelligence that would famously come to be known as the Turing test. In the 1950 paper, Computing Machinery and Intelligence, Turing proposed the following game. A human judge has a text conversation with unseen players and evaluates their responses. A very neat example of this is that when you apply nuclear physics, that kind of physics, to understand how stars work, you find out that the oldest star in the universe is about 13 billion years old. So their universe is just a little bit older than the stars. During the first decade, people created web pages, learning resources, and other online contents without normal factors, such as fears, religious concerns, advertisement, profitability, or traditional promotion schemes. It is because they thought it was a good idea. We have this sense of immigrants being things that countries are battled to keep out, and immigrants want to get in, climb of the walls. I think the opposite isn't that the case. And the topic is that countries are trying to lure bright young people to get them to go to universities and get them to become immigrants. Aboriginal peoples were thus long established and continued to develop, diversify, and settle through much of the continent. As the sea levels again rose at the terminus of the most recent glacial period, some 10,000 years ago, the Australian continent once more became a separated landmass. A goal I had there was to draw more people in to work on those problems, because I think there are some very important problems that don't get worked on naturally. That is, the market does not drive the scientists, the communicators, the thinkers, the governments to do the right things. The worst case is that it's occurring now, or very soon, because the world is unprepared. It's absolutely unprepared. There are no quick fixes in something like this. Is a world addicted to cheap liquid energy facing the beginning of the end of the age of oil? To understand Aristotle's interest in happiness, you need to understand this distinction. Some things we aim for and value, not for themselves, but for what they bring about in addition to themselves. The outcomes involve parents, friends, schools, and siblings, and researchers figure out which factors are essential and more important than others. Successful schools depend on the resources and support of their communities, and schools at the center of their communities are often the most successful schools. Network is a social relationship which helps transfer information, such as traveling from one place to another. It also helps people get to different destinations more quickly if they need to travel in a long distance or to destinations. It is suitable for old cities with high-density population like Paris. The rotational period and the season cycles of the Mars are likewise similar of those of Earth, as it was the tilt that produced the seasons. Mars is the site of the Olympus Mons, the largest volcano and the second largest known mountain in the solar system, and the Valles Marineris, one of the largest canyon in the solar system. Many people drink juices, and this is a healthy approach. But directly eating fruits is better, because the human body can process it easily. It is better to eat a small piece of fruit, which our bodies can digest better rather than drink smoothies or more than half a cup of fruit juice, because it is the same as drinking soft drinks.